Happy Monday. Today is January the 15th, 2024, and welcome to the New Academy weekly webinar. Today, we are very excited here at New York because we are going to be speaking about new and reformulated Cosmelan depigmenting system for all clients. So we're just going to hold on. I'm muted. Hello and happy Monday. Today is Monday, January the 15th, and welcome to the New Academy weekly webinar. Today, we are very excited here at New York to be discussing our newly reformulated Cosmelan pigment control treatment. That's right. Our world famous and amazing Cosmelan has been reformulated and is in Canada. So we're going to learn all about it today. So I'm just going to share my screen. One moment. And we'll just open this up and share our screen so everyone in our audience can join me with our new and improved Cosmelan formulation. Now, if you do have any questions during our webinar, please don't worry. At the end, I will allow you to ask some questions here in chat. You can chat with me. You can send any questions in here and I will reply. So let's begin with no further ado. Welcome to the future of medical innovation with New Viewer. We are New Viewer, a medical innovation company, Canadian born and growing fast. We bring the latest and the greatest in medical skin lines and soon more devices to the Canadian market. We're here to help you grow and succeed and help you every step along the way. Our brands here at New Viewer, our most famous one, 5-time winner of the Aesthetic Medicines World Congress Award. For the last 5 years, Aptos has won for best suspension threads. This is a beautiful thread lifting method that is created for each section of the face. And this year it will be Health Canada approved and hitting the market. What is Health Canada approved and a winner as well as Aptos is our Phedia high tissue PRP, a fantastic disposable PRP system that takes you from collection to application quickly, effectively, and without risk of contamination or injury. It is another award-winning product from New Viewer. So please ask about how Phedia can change your way of doing PRP. And for our skincare lines, we present two of the most amazing brands I've ever met. The first one is our Dermaceutic, born from the collaboration of French dermatologists. Dermaceutic is the #1 chemical peel company in all of France, and all of their line is created to support and enhance what medical aesthetic treatments your clinic presently supports and offers. And Mesoaesthetic is committed to the developing and marketing of a top quality product right from the start with and in science. Everything they do is science-based and it shows with effective and amazing safe products for all skin types. And of course, New Viewer wants to be your one-stop shop. So take a look at our medical supplies. If you don't see something that you currently use in your facility, just let us know what it is and we'll find it. Not only do we want to deliver you the best in innovation, but we want to stock you up with all your PPEs, your high quality products for your healthcare needs. And of course, we always have our price match guarantee. And who am I? I'm Tina Lee, your clinical educator. I love to share my knowledge and passion about Nuvior. So please contact me if you need anything. And without further ado, Cosmelan. It helps to control pigmentation with all skin types. Now, Cosmelan has been around a few years, but you will notice in 2024 that it has been reformulated. We have evolutionized that formulation. It is more effective, better results, and a much easier way of following through with the treatment. We have changed up that clinical protocol as well as the phases, and still we're maintaining that structure of our product. We are not taking anything away from the efficacy of Cosmelan. We're just making sure it works even better for you. Now, what is Cosmelan? Cosmelan is a professional treatment available for the aesthetic world. It is a professional treatment that includes one in office or in cabin treatment. That's phase one, and a second home phase. So it does have two aspects to it. It does involve a very unique approach in controlling pigmentation. It does have a dual action approach of corrective, removing and lightening all that stained color from the surface of the skin, as well as regulating and controlling that melanogenesis process within the melanocyte. It reinforces anti-aging that is related to melasma, and it is effective for all skin types and skin phototypes, Fitzpatrick 1 all the way to 6. And we have tangible results back with in vitro and clinical studies to show how amazing the new reformulated Cosmelan truly is. The first thing you will notice is the ingredients have changed. Not only is it now amazing for all skin types, it also includes melaphenone. Melaphenone is that amazing molecule that has been designed, created, and used exclusively by Mesoaesthetic. They've created a molecule. And this patented molecule has been designed for anti-aging as well as its amazing depigmenting action. In addition to melaphenone, Cosmelan also contains a beautiful complex, again, patent and exclusive to Mesoaesthetic. And this is called Cosmazone. Cosmazone is a trans-ethosome, which is a flexibility of your liposome, bringing two amazing flavonoids, epigenin and fluoretin, to the immediate parts of the skin below the surface where they need to go. So with this encapsulation, it keeps these ingredients stable and active, and it is going to give you protection at that dermal epidermal junction and where that breakdown happens and causes aging. So how does the new Cosmazone work? It has three specific mechanisms or actions, and they all have to do with reducing melanin and anti-aging, two of our favorite things. So the first way it's going to do it, and all these mechanisms are parallel, where they're working at the same time. Our first one is autophagy. And autophagy is that process of cleaning out and getting rid of, whether it's waste, in this case, melanin, or dead cells. So we are going to have that autophagy action of removing that existing melanin in that skin cells. All those keratinocytes from that epidermal layer will have the melanin flushed from it in that autophagy mechanism. The second action of Cosmazone is epigenetic, in that it is going to reduce the gene expressions of the enzymes that activate melanogenesis. So if we are reducing that activation of melanogenesis, we are going to reduce how much melanin is being produced. So it's working at that epigenetic cellular level on those gene expressions. We are going to reduce the amount of enzymes that are involved in that melanogenesis process, and in turn, reducing melanin and the amount it will then produce. As an anti-ager, Cosmazone is amazing. With those two flavonoids, we are going to improve and encourage collagen and elastin synthesis. We are going to reduce those MMPs, those enzymes that break down those fibers of collagen and elastin. And we're going to increase that beautiful protein T1MP1, which is going to further inhibit the MMPs and protecting the delicate fibers of that dermal layer. So in three ways, we're going to help get rid of the existing melanin. We're going to reduce that expression on the gene that increases that melanogenesis. We're going to reduce the amount of enzymes and, of course, protect those beautiful structures in the dermis of collagen and elastin and inhibit those MMPs. So it's very exciting that we're going to get rid of pigmentation, but also do that anti-aging as well. So when we're talking about beautiful active ingredients, you may have been familiar with some of our past ingredients, but we have added some superior products. So take a look here with our actives at the surface of the skin, doing that corrective action, healing away and shedding away that stained, darkened skin. We have our salicylic acid and our retinol palmitate, which is a beautiful, gentle form of vitamin A. We have added all the ingredients that you see that plus sign. So for that rejuvenation of the surface of the skin, we've also included some retinol. And of course, our Cosmazone complex. That includes your epigenin and your floritin. Those, of course, are going to help in that autophagy action that we spoke about. And then we're going to get into the deeper areas of that epidermis, where that transfer occurs. With that niacinamide, that's going to work in that transferring of that newly created melanin, reducing it to those skin cells. The hesperidin is a new addition to it. As well, we have added our hexyresorcinol, idabidin, as well as in addition to the ones that we used to have, like our kojic, our licorice root, our ascorbic acid, and of course, our phytic acid. So you can see the actives are much more potent, much more than they used to be. So it is going to be a more active treatment. So you can see here Cosmelan 1 is going to work on that corrective, reducing and lightening the existing pigmentation. It is also going to work in the depositing less melanin and that less transfer. Of course, it's still going to work in that melanocyte deep in the factory of that skin, and it is going to reduce the amount of melanin being created in that melanogenesis process. And with that reduction of those enzymes, you'll find that each time that body goes into melanogenesis process, it will reduce the amount of melanin. So as you can see, these two exciting additions to Cosmelan has really changed its effectiveness. Cosmazone, this encapsulated complex with those two beautiful flavonoids, are going to reduce that synthesis or production of melanin by 47%. And melatonin, if you're familiar with it from our dermamelan, you know that this molecule works within the tyrosinase to actually bond itself to the binding site of tyrosinase and reduce the tyrosinase activity by 56% on its own. Now, here is some beautiful ex vivo results. So what this shows is they took a controlled skin sample, and you can see without the Cosmelan how much melanin and activity is in that skin tissue. Then they took that culture and they treated it with Cosmelan. And you can see there is a reduction by 90% of that melanin total within that test tissue. And that is just within 8 days of using Cosmelan. So you can expect quick and immediate results, that shedding and brightening and lightening, reduction of melanin on the surface while it's doing its dual action of regulating beneath that surface. And as I stated earlier, Cosmelan now brings you amazing anti-aging action. You see, melasma is not only an excess of melanin in the skin, it also has a histological characteristics that's very typical of photoaging. And that includes that structural change in the elastin, causing that just like solar elastosis, where you get the sagging and drooping. You get the drooping and sagging in the collagen as well in forms of lines and wrinkles. And not only is it going to show visibly on the surface of the skin, but at that dermal epidermal barrier, that dermal epidermal junction that separates your epidermis from your dermis, that starts to break down. And that's when melanin goes wrong. And instead of going up into the epidermis, those melanocytes can start to manifest and descend into the dermis of the skin. So clinically, what is that skin going to look like? It is going to look like it's losing its elasticity, wrinkles, and flaccidity. The skin will start to thicken, and of course, hyperpigmentation will appear. So with that Cosmelan anti-aging action, it is going to get rid of those ROSs, those reactive oxidated species, and those free radicals by stabilizing those proteins and helping to repair that cellular damage. So not only are we getting rid of that pigmentation, but feeding it with all these beautiful antioxidants, reducing that oxidized stress on and in that melanocyte is going to give you that anti-aging action. So between the melaphenone, which is going to help with anti-glycation, as well as reducing the amount of melanin being produced, you've got that other heavy hitter with the Cosmazone, which is going to increase that collagen and elastin production, reduce the damage from those MMPs, and increase that protein that fights those MMPs. With the other anti-aging ingredients like your retinol and the most beautiful antibanon, your licorice root, your vitamin C, your hesperidin, and your vitamin E, Cosmelan 2 continues to be an amazing cream that will depigment as well as anti-age. And here, I just love seeing this. How the melaphenone works on that horrible glycation that is going on within that skin. Now, glycation isn't anything new, but it's getting more buzz in the press because we're realizing that when those molecules become a glycation or a AGE, um, what it's going to do, it's going to surround those cells, as you can see in this controlled image, and it makes that cell very unstable. It cannot do its job. It cannot process. It cannot go into mitosis. It just stops working, almost frozen by that gooey glycation around it. Now, when we do treat those cells with melaphenone and its anti-glycation action, it is going to make that cell viable again. You can see that it's working and doing its job and churning over as it should. So if your skin is not healthy, if it doesn't have everything it needs to do the job, it can't do the extra light depigmentation. So this is where melaphenone comes in, making those cells able to do its job. As well, you can see how it reduces that oxidative stress on the cells. So here is your oxidative stress. And without the stress, you can see the cell is working beautifully. It's viable, it's nucleus, it's working. And then when we add oxidative stress, which is your UV or your free radicals that get in there and cause that oxidation, you can see that cell is no longer able to do its job. And every cell in the body just wants to have a job and be productive. But again, when we add that melaphenone and that oxidative stress, you can see that that cell is still working as hard as it was before the stress was added. So melaphenone does allow your products to work and do the job it was meant to do. Now, enough of the science. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's discuss how Cosmelan has been improved for its protocol. Now, we do have two phases, our in-clinic where you do perform the in-office treatment, cleansing of the skin, degreasing of the skin, and application of your mask. When you are treating the skin now, the exposure time has been reduced. You will still take into consideration the skin's type. So whether we have normal, mixed, or oily skin, as well as sensitive and dry skin. If it is moderate, that normal to oily and combination skin will have an exposure time of 8 hours. That is correct. A reduction from 12. And for those thin, dry, sensitive skins, you will have an exposure time of 6 hours for that moderate pigmentation. When the pigmentation is more severe, for the normal mixed and oily skins, you will go for 8 hours again, maximum 8 hours for the mixed, oily, normal, and combination skins with severe pigmentation. When they are a less oily or dry skin, but their pigmentation is deep, they too will have an exposure time of 8 hours. Now, this is very important. Once the client reaches their expected exposure time of 6 or 8 hours, the client will remove that cream mask with large amounts of water, plenty of water to get it all off. And then that day and for the next 7 days, the client will use only the Milan Recovery and the Milan Sunscreen, excuse me, 50 plus. So for that first 7 days following the in-office treatment, the client's face will recover from that treatment. Within 3 to 4 days, you should expect for the peeling to begin. Once the skin has recovered at day 7, you will start your home protocol. And this home protocol is no longer a step-down system, rather a continuous 6-month program of 2 applications of the actives each day. So every morning and every evening, your client will apply Cosmelan 2, the size of a small pea to a small almond for the amount of area of their face size, and just below the neck, staying away from eyes and mouth and nostril, those sensitive areas. And then they will wash their hands, follow it up with a generous amount of Melanin Recovery, which is our management cream for any skin reactions that may manifest from using the actives on a daily basis. And of course, every 2 hours, we must reapply our Melon Sunscreen 50 plus, even when we're indoors, as it has its own amazing properties. In that afternoon, when your skin is reacting from the actives, it is recommended to use as much Melon Recovery as necessary and always reapply your sunscreen. So let's talk about that Cosmelan 2. It is still the same ingredients as your Cosmelan 1 from your in-office treatment. Same ingredients as Cosmelan 1 at a lower concentration for daily use. So not only is it part of the protocol to complete the 6-month treatment of depigmentation and anti-aging, but it also can be used long-term as a maintenance cream for that melasma. It has your salicylic, your retinol palmitate, your phytic acid. It has retinol and niacinamide and hesperidin and hexaresorcinol. It has your beautiful idobidon and, of course, the stars of the show, melaphenone and cosmazone. So this looks and feels like peanut butter. It is quite thick and is very active. The Milan Recovery is one of my go-tos in my personal arsenal at home. It is a beautiful management balm for any reactive skin, sensitive skin. Even your rosacea skins would like this. But what makes it truly an exceptional management for skin reactions is that it also prevents hyperpigmentation due to post-inflammatory effects. So it has specialized ingredients for that skin to prevent that PIH in the skin. So think of it not only as Cosmelan's management cream, but for any of your clients or patients that require some protection from post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, Milan Recovery is your product. And of course, my favorite sunscreen in the world, Milan Sunscreen 50 Plus. Yes, it's known as Milan 130 around the world. In Canada, it's proudly called Milan Sunscreen 50 Plus. And what makes it my favorite, as well as everyone here at Nuvior, is because of its 2-in-1. Not only is it one of the best protections against UVA and UVB rays, it also protects you from that IR heat, that infrared, and high intense visible light that we get every day indoors in our home from our computers and other electronics. So even if you're not going out, melanin sunscreen 50 plus should be reapplied every couple of hours. And the secret to getting a great color is to shake. You shake, 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 and then that beautiful universal color tint will take over. It can match any skin type from a Fitzpatrick 1 all the way to a Fitzpatrick 6. And it has a gorgeous Mesoprotect complex in there with our Collagen Pro Shield. So when you remove your sunscreen, your skin feels soft and moisturized without that dried out, flaky feeling. So your Cosmelan journey will look like this. Of course, you still need to prep the skin. So make sure that client can handle retinol for a minimum of 3 weeks on a daily basis, like our Retin 0.3%. Get them on some antioxidants and vitamins. Get them very familiar with that feeling of peeling and tightening and stinging and burning, because it may occur. Once that skin is healthy, hydrated, and well prepped, bring them in for that consultation, apply that treatment, send them home. They will wear it for 6 or 8 hours, depending on the skin type and severity. And then in 7 days, they will begin their home protocol. So from day 7, they will begin that home phase of using your actives twice daily for the remainder of the 6 months. Once they have completed their treatment, they can prolong and combat that rebound melasma, especially with our Milan Tran 3 concentrate, which is absolutely fantastic. It has 1.8% tranexamic acid. It's got our 2% tri-control complex that works on that melanocyte. We've got 5% enzymatic complex that helps with the exfoliation and that beautifying of the surface of the skin. And of course, niacinamide works with that tranexamic acid at those dendrites to keep that pigmentation at bay. This concentrate pairs beautifully with that Milan Trans 3 gel cream. It is a very fast absorbing cream. It works best when combined with that concentrate. This one has a 3% tranexamic acid. It also has that hydro acid complex plus 2% of the tri-control complex and your niacinamide. So these are also beautiful creams and concentrates to prep the skin to get it used to with the retinol before the Cosmelan and of course after. But look at the results and let these faces do the talking. Because whether it is melasma, Whether it is a mixture of photo and melasma damage, Cosmelan can treat whether it is freckles, solar-induced melasma, or post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Beautiful results for the pigmentation as well as for the fine lines and the contouring of the face. Skin after skin, result after result, amazing, amazing feedback from our reformulation. I love this one with the lines, especially here in that area and even around the mouth. Gorgeous results. This one, you can see it around her eyes. Beautiful results. Post hyperpigmentation. And of course, mixed skins, freckles, solar, and melasma here. So to recap, our original Cosmelan was amazing. It had our step down program, but now it is much simpler, easier for compliance, easier for follow through, and even better results. Our new exposure time for the mask is 6 or 8 hours, depending on the skin characteristics and the severity of pigmentation. Your protocol in the original Cosmelan, post-treatment, you would wait 2 to 3 days. Now we're going to wait a complete week, allow that skin to heal and recover from those amazing actives in our Cosmelan 1. And then we're going to start that home protocol twice a day, every day for 6 months. Easier to monitor by you and perform by that client. So trust the experts in Cosmelan. Trust Mesoaesthetic with over 30 years of experience in our field and a benchmark in the market. I want to thank you for joining us today. And as a token, I do want to offer anyone who has joined us, if you are going to consider increasing your offerings and bring in the new Cosmelan, any other products here at Mesoaesthetic and Dermaceutic and Nuvior for everything, please fill out our survey and receive a 5% promo for your next order. And for all those who have attended, whether you own a clinic or not, you also can receive clinic pricing 20% off for personal use. So sign up, get yourself approved. Just let me know, and I'll have you approved on the website, and you too can try these beautiful retail products. I'm Pina Lee, and I am happy to be with you. Please join us next Monday for our next installment of our new Academy Weekly webinar. If you have any questions, if you would like more information, reach out to me by phone, by text, or by email. And at this time, before we go, I would like to open up the floor. If anyone has any questions, please ask your questions here, and I can answer you. And for anyone who would like a copy of what you've seen today, we do have some brochures, and we can send those out to you right away as well. Any questions now? Well, I'm glad that that was all clear for everyone. Oh, hello, hello. Thanks for joining us. Happy New Year to you too. So if there's no further questions, I'm going to say goodbye. And please have a happy and safe Monday and have yourself a warm day. Bye-bye, everyone.